Compare so one person is on. Really. Man, he owns PhD in philosophy and Kabbalah. Before you go anywhere, a PhD in Kabbalah. I mean, Casinidi, a dog curriculum. That's the point I want to establish. I say, like, PhD in philosophy and Kabbalah, Russian Academy of Science. Russian and Kabbalah, Social link. Why? Only one person always starts. That's only recorded. Okay. Once again, good evening, good morning. It appears people are tired, so spirituality is not easy. People think it's easy. It's really, really a lot of sacrifice. So, yes, I believe probably we have only one now 469 is the only person who is online. Then we still would go on. The kingdom of God waits for nobody. We are all tired. Myself, I'm very, very tired. But what do you do? So we were looking at resolution and goal setting. And how do we set our goals and resolution? So first of all, we are looking at we are going to look at 3 areas. We are going to look at our spiritual, that is where me I'm most concerned, our spiritual resolution. Then we come to financial resolution. Then come to, these are the areas for me I'm going to focus on, but you can add other areas on your own spare time. So we are looking at spiritual resolution, financial resolution, and health resolution. So first of all, we take a spiritual resolution, and this session is not going to be a very long session, it's going to be quite short. So we take the spiritual resolution first, then let me add family. I don't want to take long, so I don't want to add different areas to our life. Okay, I don't add family, which are the 4 chromatic areas. So first of all, we take off spiritual resolution. So resolution simply means what you have resolved, what you've made up your mind to do. And in every resolution, you set goals. So now we're looking at spiritual resolution. We're looking at spiritual resolution. So what are, first of all, write down the impediment in your spiritual practice. You first of all will write down impediments in your spiritual practice. When I say impediments, what are the things that did not allow you to practice the way you want to practice? Okay. So what are the impediments in your practice in the year 2025? It could be lack of time. It could be your boss work taking all your time. It could be family taking all your time. It could be sheer laziness, unpreparedness, anything. So you write them down. What were the impediments? What are the things that made it difficult for you to do your spiritual practice, or for you to engage in effective spiritual practice? So let us all write. You are all writing our own down. Okay. So you write all the things that serve as an impediment to your spiritual practice. Some could be laziness. Some could be procrastination. It could be so many things. So you try as much as possible to list them down. What you think were the causes of your spiritual impediment, things that didn't allow you to practice spirituality well. Some could be lack of proper tuition. Maybe you didn't have proper tuition, you didn't have proper education. Some could be lack of access to knowledge and information. So these are things that could either to become an impediment to your spiritual practice. It could also be family. Maybe family didn't give you the opportunity. Sometimes, some of us may have husbands who are not committed to the process. Some may have wives who are not committed to the process, and they cannot oppose the things that you do. So some may be family issues. Some family issues could also be extra burden posed by children, especially for our mothers and ladies. So all the things that serves as impediment to our spiritual progress, to our spiritual practice, we write them down. Let's try and write them down. List them one after the other. Okay, list them out one after the other. Sometimes to be share laziness and reluctancy. You are just reluctant. You feel lazy to practice. We write them down. It's very important. So you write all those impediments down. When you're done with the spiritual resolution, we'll go to financial resolution. Now, please, if you are done with the impediments in your spiritual practice in the year 2025, take each one of them and write down how you intend to deal with the situation. So now you're going to set goals, how you intend to deal with the situation. We need to set realistic goals. We need to set realistic resolutions. So don't say I'm going to meditate 4 hours a day. It may probably not be a realistic resolution. So looking at the impediment that you have stated, try and state solutions, how you intend to resolve them. How do you intend to resolve them? So make realistic resolutions to the stated impediments. So for instance, you felt lazy to meditate simply because you thought probably you should meditate 4 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours a day. So your resolution could start with that you make sure you meditate 30 minutes every day in the morning, and be specific. Every morning, I'll meditate 30 minutes every morning before I leave for work. So at what time will be convenient for you? So you leave home, the time you leave home. So let's say you leave home 6 o'clock for work, and you have to take a bath. It takes about 10-15 minutes to take your bath, or say another 30 minutes to take your bath. So at what time would you want to start your meditation, so you can have your 30 minutes meditation and then be able to take your shower, do the other things you need to do, and then set off to work by 6. In so doing, you are setting realistic resolutions, not abstract resolutions. You know, most of the people, most of us, the reason why we are unable to achieve our goals and resolutions for the year is because we normally set abstract resolutions. So sometimes say, oh, I want to buy a car, I want to buy 5 cars, I want to build a house. And we don't even make plans, we don't set within our resolution plans to how to acquire a land, let alone to talk about building a house. So let's say realistic resolutions. So that is for the spiritual aspect of it. So when you take each and every impediment, state realistic approach to which you are going to take to resolve the situation. There's no God coming from anywhere to do anything physical for us. We have been given all that we need. We have the mind, the intelligence, the intellect, the emotion, the will, the desire, the ego. We have everything which is necessary for you to do what you need to do for yourself. The biggest deception is we waiting on some body to come and do, or some entity to come and do anything for us. They have their role that they play, but there are certain things is left for humans to do. And the gods will not do that humans can do for themselves. I repeat again, the gods would not do anything that humans can do for themselves. So there are a lot of things that we have to do for ourselves and we can do for ourselves. There is a disconnection. So, okay, it's back. So it's just that we live in an abstract world. We've created an abstract lifestyle without specifics and definitions to what we want to do in life. So then it becomes very abstract. It becomes something that is not feasible. So in setting these resolutions for 2026, we need to be specific and be time bound. Set limits to your resolution or your goals. Okay, so we set limits. When I want to do things, I set limits to the things that I do. If those who are close to me know, I said, no, this year I want to do this. Okay, I want to do this. I'll do this part of the bigger picture within the first 3 months. In the next 3 months, I'll move on to this part of the project. In the next 3 months, which is the 3rd quarter, I'll move on to this part of the project. And in the 4th quarter, I'll be able to achieve this. So then I'm guided by the things that I have to do within the various quarters. And then after I've set all this in place, I now do my prayers or my meditation, objective meditation, with subjective meditation, accompanied with other Kabbalistic prayers and other things, to seek for divine enablement, divine approval, and divine provision. But the execution lies within my power that divinity has given to us. Where there's no deity, there's no shrine, there's no dwarf that will come and build a house for you, or wash your car for you, or arrange your room. It does not happen anywhere. That aspect of execution is within the mandate of man, and that we need to do. So set realistic resolutions to the problems that you have stated. If it is improper management of time that affected your ability to practice, you need to set how you intend to manage your time. Okay, so you state it in that order, and that will be your guide for the year 2026. So the year 2026, what do you intend to achieve in your meditation practice? So let's say by the close of the year 2026, you want to achieve the objective of being able to meditate 2.5 or 3 hours a day. That is your objective. So you then start it maybe 15 minutes every day, then you increase it to, okay, when I start with 30 minutes every day, in about 3 months' time, I'll increase it to an hour. By then, your body has been acclimatized with the 30 minutes. Okay, the next 3 months, I'll increase it to 1.5 hours or 2 hours. By the end of the year, you realize that you can sit to meditate for 2 hours with ease. So that is how you go about your spiritual meditation, your spiritual resolution. What do you seek to achieve out of your spiritual resolution? Are you seeking for personal development? You want to develop your spirit being? You want to be spiritually awakened or activated? What do you seek to achieve with your spiritual practice? Is it to help other people? To start your own teaching? What is it that you want to use the spiritual knowledge for? You cannot get the knowledge and then sit there with the knowledge without doing anything. So what do you intend to use the knowledge for? It all must be part of your resolution, and it's going to be a propelling force. So you put all those things down with time bounds and limit after to the first quarter, that was the first 3 months, second 3 months, third 3 months, fourth 3 months, making it 12 months in a year. How do you intend to do this? What do you want to achieve in the first 3 months? What do you want to achieve in the second 3 months? What do you achieve in the third 3 months? And what do you want to achieve in the last quarter, which is the fourth 3 months, making it a year? So at the end of the day, the goal you set for the year 2026 regarding your spirituality, you break it down into 4 quarters. Okay? So first quarter, this is what I want to achieve with this objective. Second quarter of the objective for 2026 spiritual agenda, this is what I want to achieve. Third quarter for 2026 spiritual agenda, this is what I want to achieve. And by the end of the year, which is the last quarter for the year 2026, this is what I want to achieve. So I can be able to fulfill my spiritual resolution or my spiritual agenda for the year 2026. If you want to attain enlightenment, what is your objective? What is the process? Every quarter, what do you intend to do? When it comes to our learning spiritual books, how many books do you want to read at the end of the year? So you can give us a go. At the end of the year, I want to read 5 metaphysical books. If you want to read 5 metaphysical books, 2 transcendental books, state their titles if you already know them. And then first quarter, how many books do you want to read? Out of this 10 or 9 books, first quarter, how many books do you want to read? So if it is 9 books, you know you are reading 3 every 2 or 2.5 every quarter, 2 or 1.5 or 2. How many pages are you supposed to read? So then you'll be committed to the daily pages, and by the time the year is over, you realize that you have read a number of books that you want to read. So if every page you need to read, every day you need to read 10 pages, then you are committed to that. And gradually, by the time the year ends, you might have read the 9 books that you intend to read. But in most cases, when people are setting resolution, at the end of the year, I want to read 9 books. So they leave it open. That is their New Year resolution for reading habits. 1 month pass, I want to read 9 books. 2 months pass, I'm going to read 9 books. 3 months pass, I'm going to read 9 books. There's still 9 months ahead of me. I'll read 9 books. By the time the person realizes the year is coming to a close and he has not been able to even read 2 books. Why? Because limits were not set to the goals and the resolutions. So when it becomes a daily responsibility and objective, when you don't do it for that day, you know you have failed and you need to carry on the load to the next day. So if you are supposed to read 3 pages a day or 10 pages a day, and today you're unable to do it, you have a deficit. So that means that the following day you're going to read 20 pages in that day. By so doing, one step at a time, you realize that at the end of the year, you may be able to read all the 10 books, the 9 books, or the 12 books that you want to read. So this is how we set resolutions. This is how we set goals and objectives for the year. So if I'll give you the general overview, so you can take your own time and then sit down, and then now throughout when the day breaks, you can sit down, because during the day we'll not be doing much exercise. It's time for rest. We'll be doing most of our this in the evenings. So you take your time to put them down, because that is what you're going to use it to do our intense meditation exercises and project them into the universe. So the next thing we want to deal with is, so I think I've spoken extensively about the spiritual resolution. Now the next thing we're going to look at is financial resolution. So with the financial resolution, as said before, we need to be realistic. What are our financial estimation when it comes to expenditure, and how much do you want to exponent it or expand it? So for instance, let's say last year your financial expenditure was, let's say, give and take, most people don't have a really strong budget for their life. They live and spend as and when money comes. But at least you should have a threshold, you should have a basic budget which you are going to live your life within. So let's say you are paid per annum, let's say 500,000 Ghana cedis, or in other words about $50,000 per annum. That is your take home for the whole year. And you know this take home is given out on monthly basis. So what will be your basic projection per month and per day? That is how you set resolution. After that, then you have to set how you intend to expand or increase your financial flow or your cash flow. So okay, somebody may say, I want to set up an extra business. I want to sell some books online. I want to do some online courses to upgrade myself to get better increment of salary. I want to, as it were, sell maybe jewelries online. As it were, maybe I want to write some books. I want to write some music. I want to generate some. So you decide on other revenues, other sources to generate revenue in order to add up to your natural cash flow or your realistic cash flow. Now, whichever decision you take, because that I can't take for you, but I'm giving the general idea. Whichever decision, if I want to sell oranges aside the work that I do, in order to have an extra revenue generation to beef up my financial status and add it to what my natural cash flow or regular cash flow, how do I intend to set up this orange business? How many bags do I intend to start with in the first quarter? So by the end of the year, probably I want to sell 200 sacks of oranges. So let's say 20, let's say just big number, let's say 20 sacks of oranges in a year. How many sacks do you intend to sell in the first quarter of the year? So the first quarter is 3 months. and you have 12 months in a year. So you're going to have 4 quarters. So let's say each quarter you want to sell about 5 oranges, 5 sacks. Okay, so if you want to sell 5 sacks, how many sacks do you intend to sell in a month? Because a quarter is made up of 3 months. So that means that in a month, you intend to sell somewhere around 1.5 to 2 sacks in a month. So how many oranges are you going to sell in a day? In order to be able to sell 1.5 to 2 sacks in a month. That depends on the number of oranges are in each sack. So this is how you set resolutions and set realistic goals. So it becomes workable and it becomes achievable. This is how I've lived my life all year round. So I have definition to every purpose to which I set as a task for myself. So it shouldn't be, I want to buy a car. How do you intend to buy the car? How much is the value of that car? And when do you intend to buy the car? And how much do you intend to save towards buying the car? Per quarter, per month, and at the end of the year, how much money do you make and how do you intend to afford a car? This is how we set resolutions. You want promotion in your business, in your office. It shouldn't be, I want promotion. So you'll be walking from one spiritual person to another spiritual person, from one juju person to another juju person, from one prophet to another prophet, praying for promotion. It doesn't work that way. You must be prepared for the promotion. So when do you think you have targeted for your set promotion? So when are promotion interviews conducted in your establishment or in your company or in your ministry? If you know the set date or time or the period where these interviews are conducted for promotion, how do you get yourself qualified for a promotion? And then how do you prepare yourself for the promotion? These are supposed to be your resolution and not the promotion. Well, these resolutions are the things you're going to work on at the end of the day to be able to achieve that objective. So this is how we go about setting resolution. And this is the reason why we Christians, most of us set a lot of resolution, and by the time the year is over, we come back and sing our faith, because we are not taught how to do some of these things. So same apply to as we are talking about, we are in a financial space. So what would be your budget for the year? And then what would be your budget per each quarter? How much do you want to spend per each quarter? And how do you intend to make that money to spend per each quarter? And what do you intend to spend the money on per each quarter? The things you intend to spend the money on should be part of your general objective for the achievement for the year 2026. So that at the end of the day, per every quarter, and the expenditure you make, per every quarter, by the end of the year, when you put all the expenditure together, it was directed towards the objective for the year, so you'll be able to achieve it. This is how you set resolutions. And even with this, you realize that it is, if all things being equal, it is achievable without prayers. So you can see people who do not pray for certain things. For me, like when it comes to material things, I don't remember the last time I prayed for any material things. Because I am a child of God. I am created in the image and likeness of God. So I am a God. And the God does things in an organized way. Even our sublime Father, when wanting to create the world by the records as stated in the book of Genesis, the Holy Bible, didn't say, let the trees come, let the mountain come, no. He did it in order. He had a bigger picture in the mind, and he broke it down to various pieces, day after day. Day 1, let us do this. Day 2, let us do that. Day 3, let this be done. Day 4, let it be done. Day 5, let it be done. Day 6, let it be done. And everything was done according to time and period. It was broken down in pieces. And he said, and let there be light, and there was light. And he saw that the light was beautiful. He has finished with one part. In the mind of this sublime intelligence, he wants to create a beautiful, balanced, harmonious world. But he didn't call everything into existence, or he didn't have that thing in mind and just be staring that this is what I'll achieve, this is what I'll achieve. It was broken down by the sublime intelligence in phases and in pieces. And as it has been tackled in phases and in pieces, collectively at the end of the 6 days, there was a big, beautiful creation. This is how we need to live our lives. And when you're able to do these things, you realize that for all these years, you've been wasting your time gallivanting from one spiritual person to another, finding solution to problems that really never existed and only existed due to improper management or improper know-how. Inadequate know-how. So day 1, let there be light, let the water separate the waters above, and the water shift to one side, and this, and then let the lower light separate from the light, let the lower light rules the night, and then the greater light rules the day. And he saw that it was beautiful. Day 1 was gone. Day 2, let there be trees. So gradually, day by day, phase by phase, quarter by quarter, the sublime intelligence was forming and brooding everything together. And this is what we need to do. This is resolution. Realistic resolution that can be achievable. So you sit down for the financial aspect, as I just sit down and then work out. You know how much you are paid per annum. If you don't know how much you are paid per annum, just multiply how much you are paid every month times 12. It gives you the amount of money you are paid per annum. Check your expenditure. How much do you spend a day? How much do you spend a month? That will tell you how much you spend per quarter. Then you will see the deficits that you have or the reserve that you have. How much do you want to expand your financial revenue? By how many percent? By 30%. So if you are paid 100 Ghana cedis per year and want to expand your financial revenue by 30%, that means that you want to expand your financial revenue by, let's say, 30 Ghana cedis or a little bit plus to your regular 100 Ghana cedis. So how do you intend to do that? What kind of business do you intend to do and all that? And how do you set it? You set it according to the various phases, according to the various quarters. First quarter, first 3 months. Second quarter, second 3 months. Third quarter, third 3 months. And fourth quarter for the last 3 months, making it 12 months. So at the end of the day, you're able to realize that, and then you add up to your expenditure. It may not even come as fiscal money. Maybe it may come as a means of acquiring what you want to use the money for, and be able to achieve that objective for the year 2026. Now, from there, we are moving to health. From there, we are moving to health. And for me, this aspect is very important, because when it comes to spirituality, health is key. And we must take very good care of our health. Most often than not, people don't pay attention to their health, don't pay much attention to their physical body, but it is the only vehicle through which the soul can express itself. So it is imperative that we have to take very, very good care of our health. Me myself, see, at times I'm very, very cruel towards my body. You get it? But it is necessary. The fact that I sometimes I do it doesn't mean I don't know what is the right thing to be done. So it's part of my resolution for 2026 is to give my body the best treats ever. All this starving thing, not having good rest and all that is part of the structures I'm going to do to make sure that at least I would have a short nap in the afternoon as much as possible each and every day. At least minimum 3 times in a week, I must have a short nap wherever I find myself, whether sitting in a car, at the office, at home. Obviously, home is out. I cannot be at home because I don't have the luxury of being at home. But wherever I find myself, at least it's part of my resolution to have a short nap in the afternoon. I started this year, but it wasn't too regular. But next year is going to be something which is integral part of my day-to-day routine because I need to have good time for the body. For instance, it's also part of my routine to constantly detox my system every quarter. Every quarter, I will detox my system and take potassium breath, prepare a breath that I will take. And for those who are doing the class, I have already shown you how to prepare the potassium breath. So for me, it's something that I'm going to do every quarter. It's part of my resolution that I am cutting down on all sugars. Yes, I try to do it 2025, but 2026 I'm going to intensify the cutting out of all sugars. Okay, all artificial sugars, whether in soda, whether it's in drink form, whatever, anything that contains added sugar, I'm going to write it off. So these are things I have already put in place to care for my health. One of the things to which I intend to do is to do exercise. Last year I wanted to start. This year I wanted to start according because of timing. We went to the gym too. So this year it's part of my resolution. One of the resolution I also have is to try as that I'm not going to fix a standard requirement there, to try as much as possible to eat before 6 p.m. I want to eat with daylight. So latest by 6 I'm done. This is what I would want to do a lot of service to my body. So you don't overburden our body. It's part of my resolution to also make sure I take in adequate, at least 3 to 4 liters of water every day. And this, I want to stress that we all should make it as a point of consideration in our health because of the high level of toxins available in the foods, the vegetables, the meat, and all the things we eat. It's having an adverse effect on our kidneys and our livers. And so one of the most easiest way to combat some of these things is to always stay hydrated, highly hydrated, not just hydrated, highly hydrated. Before they told us to take 8 glasses of water a day, I can tell you on authority that it is absolutely not enough. Looking at the kind of things we eat and the kind of food they produce for us, drinking 8 glasses of water a day is absolutely not enough. You need to drink more water. You must make it a point to drink a lot of water in order to help the body flush out the toxins and the foreign materials or foreign elements that gets into our system. And every organ in our system is predominantly functioned based on water. It functions with water. So water is the fuel that makes our organs function. So we need to take in a lot of water. Please come in here. We need to take in a lot of water. So these are some of the things you set for ourselves. So you can set them according to the various quarters of the year, just like we did for spiritual, the money, financial. You do the same thing for your health. And you can decide that, okay, fine, you must have regular checkup. So it's something I used to do before regularly, but now it's been, but I went for checkup not quite too long. So you don't have to wait to get sick. And you're not going to, if you go to checkup, that doesn't mean you're going for treatment. But since we don't have all the natural know-how to be able to understand the dynamics of our physical body, to know what is happening within our physical body, it is necessary that from time to time, at least twice in a year, make it a resolution that twice in 2026 you are going to do a general, thorough examination of your body, especially when you are about 40 years. Let's make it a point to do that. If you can do it every quarter, where you work in a company that you have access to free medical care, you can make it every quarter. Every 3 months you go and scan your system to see what is wrong. Is there anything to be dealt with? Very important to do. So we try to do our medical examination, general medical examination, at least every 6 months. So you do it twice in a year. That would be very helpful. These are some of the resolutions we set. So for me, every year, next year, I'll be doing general medical checkup every 6 months. I've spoken about sleep and all that. And then we try as much as possible to minimize the intake of poison. We try as much as possible to minimize the intake of poison. Don't use your hard-earned money to go and buy poison into your system. All these soda drinks, all these excessive meat consumptions and all that are all poisons to the human body. So let our plate be benevolent. The things we eat, let it be benevolent, let it be friendly. That's all I can say. Don't let too much cruelty be found on our eating plate. And we should not allow our eating plate in 2026 cause a lot of pain to other creatures. So let our plate be very, very benevolent. And we try as much as possible to eat at least, at most, twice a day. Twice in a day. For your own health. And make sure we get all the necessary ingredients and minerals and nutrients and vitamins we need in our diet. If you can't get them in our diet, you can get very good supplements. I like the vegetarian supplements to augment our vitamins and mineral requirements. So when we're able to do these things, why not? We are going to stay healthy, and our body is going to help our soul do the practice well. So these are the areas you're going to set your goals, okay? And as I told you, you set it with time frame, with time limits, and I prefer to use first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. It gives me the room to be able to do it and be able to break it down. For instance, let me give you an example. For instance, paying of school fees. That would be a classic example to let you know. paying of school fees. Your child goes to school and is paying 3,000 or 4,000 a term. Most parents wait till the school is about to reopen before they begin to look for money. For those of us who haven't got any big businesses and all that, that's what most of us will do. But what I do is this. I know my kid's school fees is 3,000 per term. Then I know that, okay, if it's 3,000 per term, that means that a month is 1,000 cedis, isn't it? A month is 1,000 cedis. If a month is 1,000 cedis, then a day is somewhere around 30 cedis a day. So it's easier for me to prepare towards school fees, because it's the same thing you do your resolution. So you know that, oh, every day you need to save 30 cedis for your child's school fees. And let's say 30 cedis, all of us can save that. Anybody's doing petty trade can save 30 cedis a day. That means that if we are bent on sending our children to good schools, because a school paying 3,000 going, it's a very good international school. That means that even the man selling banku or kinke on the roadside can send a child to a school that is paying 3,000. It's not only meant for rich people, but it depends on how we do our resolution and to plan towards it. So you know, every day you write to swim in 30 Ghana cedis a day. At the end of the month, you are almost 900 Ghana cedis, almost 1,000 cedis. And at the end of the 3 months, your child will never be sacked for school fees. So this is how we set resolutions as well. Every resolution you set is achievable. And even with proper planning and commitment, sometimes you set a resolution and you're able to achieve it and you do extra in that same year. Like this year, for instance, what I had in my mind, I was able to achieve it, achieve the extra. When I was able to achieve what I wanted to achieve, I achieved it in time. So the 4 or 5 months extra time, I made another budget. I created internal immediate resolution again, and I was able to achieve it. And within that same time, I was able to extend it again. So I could able to achieve 2 more things, 2 major, when I say more, not commodity, I did 2 major things that wasn't part of my year's resolution. Because when a man is committed and the man is well programmed, divinity makes provision. When you're working and you don't have a definition of purpose, you are not well programmed, and you just have that abstract mindset of, I want to build a house. Oh, I'll build a house. Oh, this year I'll build a house. The year will pass and the next one will pass and the next one will pass, and you will never even buy a quarter plot. But once you have a definition, this year I want to build a house. So first quarter of the year, I want to buy a plot. What is the size of the plot you want to buy? I want to build a house on 1 plot. I want to build a house on half plot. I want to build a house on a quarter plot. Then you come to definition of purpose. Then, okay, first quarter of the year, I am saving towards buying a half plot, a quarter plot, or 1 plot. How much does it cost? Which location do I want to buy the plot? How much does land cost in those locality? You have the idea, and then you begin to work towards it. This is when the divinity begins to provide. But when you just have an abstract mindset, how does divinity provide? And then we'll be walking from one spiritual person to another, walking from one shrine to another, walking from one prophet to another, all to no avail. So let us do the resolution this way. So follow the lead and then take time through these 3 days fasting and prayers and meditation. You use that period to set your resolution before 31st. And then on 31st, we're going to break the fast, and then you usher in whatever prayer you need to usher in with your resolution and commit it to the hands of the invisible forces that month, this our manifest creation. Once you're able to set your resolution, that is what you are going to do. Learn how to do objective meditation and all that, and to pick more direction from inside on how to go about your various resolution. Like this year's theme that I was given is, before action can cause anything to be, stillness must first create it. Okay? Before action can cause anything to be, stillness must first create it. So before you act, before you take action to do something, you must first go inside and create it. And that is what we are doing. Resolution, idea setting and all that, goal setting and all that is creating in stillness. But in most often times, people create in thought, and thought is part of action, because thought is vibrating, thought is resonating. So thought is part of action. You understand? So most of the time, people think and create their own resolution, create their own this thing. Yes, that is thought. But you go inside and be settled, be still, and thought be absent, and then you draw in. What do I do this year? Then you focus your mind only on that, without using the intellect to assess and analyze your physical reality. Then it will drop in. Do this, do that, do that. You would achieve it. You see how beautiful the life is and how easy to live life. I'm talking about my own experience and experience of other people I have coached in this manner. So we'll be going to all that, through all that. Then that is for the health aspect. And then the final aspect I want to talk of, which is I added to it, is family. It's family. So we look at spiritual, we look at financial, which is business actually, which is business. We look at health, and now we're looking at family. These are the 4 areas that everybody is concerned with, irrespective of color, location, jurisdiction, belief system. Everybody is concerned with their spirituality. We are concerned with our business, our finances. We are concerned with our health, and we are concerned with our family. And these are 4 areas we need to focus our attention on if we want to live a sound life and to live a purposeful life. So, family. What would be your ideal family? You create family in stillness. You create family. I can tell you for a fact, without lie, and I always say it to myself, I think I've been told about before, that the kind of life I am living now and the kind of family I am having now is the kind of family I created in my stillness when I was a youth. And it's manifesting just as I created it. Just as I visualized it, it is manifesting. So family, you need to decide what kind of family you want to have. If you have not given birth, you are not married, then you begin to design your home in the state of stillness, awaiting to manifest in the future. If you're already married and you have family, but things are not going the way you're going, you're having challenges in your family and all that, marital problems, children, wahala, and all that, this is the time for you to go in and create true stillness before you act. Take time to understand the children's personality. Going inside. If you want to have a personality design, which of course now I'm being a little bit lazy in doing it because it demands a lot of time and it's quite stressful. But you go inside, and then if something is happening to your child is behaving in a specific way, which is not too good for your liking, don't take action. Don't yell, don't shout. First, go inside and find the most appropriate way to approach it. So, if your husband or your wife is misconducting his or herself, don't quarrel, don't fight the person, don't exchange, don't nag. Go inside and listen. This I'm talking to you about, I have used it all my life when I got married, and it has saved me a hell of time and a hell of problem. Either two, we would have created a lot of, even just yesterday, some happened. But learning the act of keeping quiet and going inside, it has always brought potential confusion and potential chaos to stillness. And there's always been peace. More often than not, we tend to act and react too quick and too fast. So in this coming year, what will be your family resolution? What will be your ideal family that you want to have? You create it in your mind. Picture it. A supportive, loving, caring husband. Whether you have the husband or not, you create it in your mind. Whether you have the children or not, obedient, cool, smart, intelligent, obedient children, create it in mind. How do you intend to achieve this objective? One of the ways you intend to achieve this objective is to do meditation, project this lifestyle always constantly in your meditation, in your objective meditation, because your thought creates your reality. So that is one of the ways you would want to use to, probably, if you give me that honor, I would recommend for you to use to create, to manifest that experience on your husband, on your kids, and things that are around you, your space. One of the ways is to also engage in prayer sessions, which there are a lot of prayers for harmonious family. I could share some along the line within the course of the 3 days. So we are going to look at these 4 thematic areas, and then I would give you prayers and meditation exercises to do in these 4 areas to ensure the fulfillment of these resolutions that you have made. So that is what we'll be doing tomorrow going. Okay. So I give it out to you, and then you implement it. We go through the process, and then you implement it, and then I'll do the master prayer at the end of the whole show. Or first, the master prayer, since most of you have not mystically mastered, I will lead the prayer, and when it gets to the place that the petitions are made, each and everybody will do his or her petition wherever they are, and when we are done, I would close the prayer and then supplicate the universe. Whatever prayer request you have, we are going to burn it. Okay, you are going to burn it. So, and then you okay, fine. Since I'm going to lead the tesbah, I'm going to lead the recitation. But I will advise, if you can have the tesbah or the rosary, you are going to use to count for some number of times before we do our petition. So that will be for the last day, 31st, after we've done all the several prayers and all those for family, for business, for spirituality. So we're going to do prayers for spiritual growth for some time, and we'll do meditation for spiritual growth projection for some time. Then we come to business, finance. I use business and finance because some people work, they earn money. Some people to run their own businesses. So business and finance, we come to that and do certain set of prayers on it for a period of time through the fasting session. Then we come to health. We do certain prayers on health and meditation on health. And then we come to family. We do certain prayers on family and meditation exercise on family. And we'll close it on the 23rd by climaxing it with the master invocation session. And then we'll go through it, and we are done for our prayer session. And going forward, this is the initiation to start the new year. Then we now see how we live our lives, how do we do certain daily prayers and all that. I can tell you, as I talk to you, I'm hearing it. Look, if you are able to do this, whatever you desire, you will get it. Enye gidi gidi, enye no. In 2026, try to keep our energy clean. Let us engage in constant cleansing exercises. Constant cleansing exercise. It's one thing, cleansing exercise is one thing I don't joke with. And probably that is why it's quite easier for me to manifest things in my life. And sometimes it looks like I do magic. For those who are around me, they think I do magic. It's not magic. Because like attract like. It's the principle of the universe. So when your energy is clean, you attract clean things. When your energy is coarse and chaotic, you attract coarse and chaotic effect. So 2026, let us try as much as possible to have clean energy constantly. So we engage in constant cleansing. And because for me, I don't really have time to be doing a constant cleansing. Always I have my spiritual soup I do. That is what I've been battling with constantly. So you do constant cleansing in the year 2026. So I've given you the clue, the guide, the landmarks on how to set your resolution. I will leave you to have the time, take some rest, and then when you wake up tomorrow, those who are going to work, going to work. Those who have the luxury of being at home, this is the time of introspection. So don't mingle too much, okay? And make time for this end of year activity. Set your resolution. We've gotten the guideline. Let it guide us to set our resolution. Anybody who may want some further advice or further discussion with me, as I told you, from today till the end of 31st, I'm not going anywhere. No out activity. If I go out, maybe I'm going to buy some item for any spiritual exercise, I just come up. We are indoors here. I and Abraham, we are indoors here throughout the whole period. So feel free to contact me, and any clarity that you want or any adjustment, or probably after finishing your resolution, if you want to share with me, it's private. If you don't want that, it's okay. But if you want to my take on it and you want to have some questions or want my help, my doors are open, and let's make next year a great one. Thank you, and God bless you. When the day breaks, because we are exhausted, I intend to come back around 3. It's almost 1 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock. It's almost 2 o'clock. So our next session will start 6 a.m. So we need to rest. We are talking about health as well. So our next session will start 6 a.m. I thought of breaking. We're doing our last session. Breaking by 11, quarter to 12. So we can sleep. So it's about 3:34. We get up to start something, the exercise. So our next session will start from 6 a.m. So you have that luxury of time to do your resolution, write the things you need to write down and everything. Straight away, once we'll start with our prayer session and all that. Or probably by 6 a.m. we'll meet, come online, discuss the various resolutions, those who are going to set, and all those who have said yes and all that. And if you're unable to set, if everything is set, and we know everything is set, then in the evening, 6 p.m., we can start a full session of our prayer. For what we did today or yesterday, it's just the opening to cleansing our energy and all that, aligning ourselves for the real prayer. And please don't let us pollute our energy. It's Christmas festivities, but let's keep our reserve and then go through this process. And then when from New Year going, we can do whatever we want to do. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I'll meet you around between 6 to 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Stay blessed.